Literally witnessed two things. We witnessed Caitlin Clark once again cementing herself as the demon of the WNBA. Flashes of 2024 and Iowa last night, while literally trying to pull the entire team along on her back because of an awful head coach named Stephanie White.
There comes a moment in every major sports franchise when everything finally explodes. A moment when years of frustration, failed decisions, and broken trust reach a boiling point so intense that even the most loyal fans can no longer stay silent. For the Indiana Fever, that moment did not arrive with the final buzzer of a heartbreaking home loss. It arrived afterward, inside the press conference room and along the sidelines, when fans around the world witnessed what many believe is undeniable proof of a toxic double standard destroying the team from within. Welcome back to WNBA Pro. Today, we are breaking down the firestorm consuming the Indiana Fever organization right now. The anger from the fan base has gone far beyond simple frustration. Fans are organizing online, calling for boycotts, and demanding massive leadership changes, from ownership all the way down to the coaching staff. And after seeing the growing controversy surrounding head coach Stephanie White's treatment of Caitlin Clark, many supporters believe the situation has become impossible to ignore. What is happening in Indianapolis is no longer just about questionable coaching decisions or poor game management. According to outraged fans, it has become something much bigger, a growing pattern of disrespect and marginalization aimed at the most influential and culturally important player the league has ever seen.
Reason. Now, essentially the same question about Kelsey Mitchell.
Start, I guess, with Kelsey Mitchell and what she did today. Is something else.
I'm speechless, really. She was 0 for 7 in the first half and 4 points, and just put us on her back. Made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She didn't settle.
Now let's talk about the post-game press conference, because for many fans, this was the moment everything changed. The moment that exposed what they believe has been happening behind the scenes all along. Caitlin Clark had just delivered one of the most unbelievable fourth-quarter performances of the season. In only 9 minutes, she erupted for 17 points, buried 5 three-pointers, and almost single-handedly dragged a struggling Indiana Fever team back into the game to force overtime. It was pure desperation, elite shot-making, and superstar-level determination all rolled into one unforgettable stretch. Naturally, a reporter asked head coach Stephanie White about Clark's incredible performance and her ability to completely take over the game when the team needed her most. In most professional basketball situations, that question becomes an easy opportunity to celebrate your franchise star. Most coaches would say something like, "She carried us," or "That's what generational players do." But instead, Stephanie White shifted the focus away from Clark entirely. She responded by saying, "I thought our whole group showed resilience. We showed the ability to make tough shots offensively and defensively. We just have to do it more consistently." That answer instantly sparked outrage across social media. Fans could not believe that after Caitlin Clark exploded for one of the most dominant individual quarters of the year, the moment was immediately redirected toward the entire team instead of acknowledging the player who completely changed the game. To many supporters, it felt like White went out of her way to avoid giving Clark individual recognition for a performance that clearly deserved it. And then the controversy grew even larger. Only minutes later, during that same press conference, Stephanie White was asked about Kelsey Mitchell's performance, and fans immediately noticed a dramatic difference in tone and enthusiasm.
Something else.
I'm speechless, really. She was 0 for 7 in the first half and 4 points, and just put us on her back. Made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She didn't settle. She stayed aggressive, and she willed us.
Sorry, I guess.
Unbelievable. Let's
put this into perspective for a second. Kelsey Mitchell started the game ice cold, going 0 for 7 from the field in the first half and scoring only 4 points. Early on, her performance was struggling badly. But when reporters later asked Stephanie White about Mitchell, everything changed. Her tone changed. Her energy changed. Suddenly, The careful deflection and team-first language completely disappeared. White looked directly at the media and said, "I'm speechless, really. She was 0 for 7 in the first half and just put us on her back. Made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She stayed aggressive and willed us." And that is the moment fans completely exploded online. Because the contrast was impossible to ignore. When Caitlin Clark erupted for 17 points in 9 minutes and practically rescued the team from collapse, the performance was described as group resilience. But when Kelsey Mitchell recovered after a rough start and hit key shots later in the game, suddenly the coach was speechless and openly declaring that Mitchell put the team on her back. To many fans, the difference in treatment felt massive. Supporters across social media immediately began accusing the organization of favoritism, mixed messaging, and creating unnecessary tension around the league's biggest star. Critics argued that you cannot build a successful franchise while constantly downplaying the impact of the player viewed as the centerpiece of the team's future. And for many observers, the press conference was only part of the story. Because fans say the real evidence appears during the games themselves, in the sideline reactions, the body language, and the visible interactions between players and coaches. As the saying goes, body language does not whisper. It screams.
Let's move on though, chat. CC takeover in full effect when the whole world was counting on her and she delivered. Look at this right here. Oh my gosh, she 22. Game time shot. And is Stephanie White celebrating? Is Stephanie White screaming, clapping her hands? No. And you're going to be like, Venom, don't worry. Stephanie White is locked in. All right, well, let's see when Kelsey Mitchell scores then. But anyways, there was nothing or nobody that could stop Caitlin Clark. So see, off ball with no...
Okay. What he's saying is Stephanie White act like nothing happened at all.
Thanks to detailed breakdowns from creators like Venom Reacts, fans are now analyzing side-by-side footage of Stephanie White's reactions during some of the biggest moments of the game. In the first clip, the pressure could not have been higher. The game was slipping away, the crowd was tense, and Caitlin Clark had the ball in her hands with everything on the line. She created space with an incredible move, pulled up from deep range, and buried a huge game-tying three-pointer that sent the arena into chaos and forced overtime. The crowd exploded. Social media instantly lit up. It was one of those dramatic superstar moments that define entire games. But what caught fans' attention most was the reaction on the sideline. As cameras showed Stephanie White immediately afterward, many viewers noticed almost no visible emotion. No huge celebration, no excited reaction, no obvious release of energy after one of the biggest shots of the night. To critics online, the moment felt strangely cold compared to the magnitude of the play itself. Supporters of White argue that this is simply how some coaches operate during intense moments. They say experienced coaches often stay locked in mentally, focusing on strategy and the next possession instead of celebrating during games. But critics quickly pushed back against that explanation. Because then fans started comparing that reaction to other moments from the same game, and that is where the debate became even more intense.
3. Now, Kelsey Mitchell.
Screens again as Kelsey dribble Mitchell with a nasty ankle breaker, I cannot lie, as Stephanie White applauds and screams in excitement. So Caitlin Clark hitting a game-tying shot to send it to overtime didn't warrant that response for Stephanie White. But Kelsey Mitchell, and the move was nice right here. Oh my God. Look at Stephanie White. Oh my God, look at the emotion from this coach right here. Holy, she's like, yeah, Kelsey, she almost...
Then came the second clip that sent fans into an even bigger frenzy online. Kelsey Mitchell isolated her defender, hit a smooth crossover move, created separation, and knocked down the shot. It was a strong offensive play, the kind of bucket fans love to see from a veteran scorer. But this time, all eyes immediately shifted to the sideline reaction. Stephanie White exploded with emotion. She was clapping aggressively, yelling, celebrating, and visibly overflowing with excitement as she reacted to Mitchell's shot. Fans even pointed out that she appeared to step toward the court in pure adrenaline during the moment. And that is where the criticism intensified. Supporters online began comparing the two reactions side by side. Near silence after Caitlin Clark's massive game-tying shot, followed by overwhelming celebration after Mitchell's crossover jumper. To critics, the contrast felt impossible to ignore. Many fans argued that the reactions reflected a deeper issue inside the organization, a belief that the coaching staff is more emotionally invested in certain veterans while struggling to fully embrace the reality that Caitlin Clark has become the face of the franchise and one of the biggest stars in all of sports. Whether fair or unfair, that perception has spread rapidly across social media, and it has started fueling broader criticism of the Indiana Fever organization as a whole. Fans are now analyzing everything, including the team's social media activity. Over the past several days, some supporters noticed that the Fever's official accounts appeared to focus heavily on veteran players and lifestyle content while posting less frequently about Caitlin Clark than expected. Because Clark is widely viewed as the league's biggest draw and one of the most marketable athletes in women's basketball, critics questioned why the organization was not centering more of its promotional strategy around her. Others, however, argue that teams often try to market the entire roster instead of relying too heavily on one superstar, especially during a long season. At the same time, frustration has also grown over the team's on-court performance, especially defensively. Stephanie White was brought in with a reputation for building disciplined, tough defensive systems. But in this matchup, the Washington Mystics consistently attacked the Fever inside. Shakira Austin delivered a career-high scoring performance, while Kiki Iriafen dominated in the paint with a breakout game of her own. For critics, the combination of defensive struggles, emotional sideline reactions, and controversial post-game comments has created a perfect storm surrounding the Fever organization, and the debate only continues to grow louder.